Hello, I'm Tony Goldstone. So the next step is step 1B, which is a crucial validation step to ensure that the model is calculating your pension in the same way as NHS pensions. So if we go over to the model, we've already completed the minimum data set and you've put all of that in. And then you can validate in one of two ways. So in the guide, you can see that there's an example here of a TRS statement, and you can match the values in the TRS statement, such as your pay and your pension, in the respective bits of 2A, which is one of the intermediate sheets. So if I go back to the table of contents, I'll just show you step 2A. So if you've got a 2017/18 TRS statement, you can check the values for pay, and this top value is pensionable pay, and then this second value is reckonable pay, which only applies if you're in the 2008 pension scheme. And then you can see values for your pension, and this is an unreduced value, i.e. it doesn't include any reduction for annual allowance charges via scheme pays or actuarial reduction, but you've got a value here for your pension in your legacy pension scheme and also the 2015 pension scheme. However, there's also now a dedicated 1B validation tab, and on this you can see a mock-up of both your TRS on the left and a predicted annual benefit statement on the right. So if we just change that to a year where you would have a TRS statement, so for example the tax year starting 2017 or the 17/18 tax year, and then you can see here the values that you would have on your TRS statement, and for the TRS side of this spreadsheet, these values should generally match within £1 if the model is working correctly. So we've got a pensionable pay value. It should say predicted values up until the same year that the TRS is in, but for the 1995 section, it may just say up to March 31st, 2015, which is when you transitioned. But nonetheless, this value for pay should be your 17/18 pay, and then this should translate into values for your pension, for your lump sum, and your reckonable membership again should be exact for years and days. So on the left hand side, on the top, this was the legacy pension section, which would be the 1995 or 2008 section. And then if you scroll down, you've got exactly the same thing for the 2015 pension. So again, we've got a pay value. This should be updated to the date of the TRS because this is your active membership of the scheme. And we should get a current value of the benefits or your pension. And again, these values are unreduced values, so they don't include any actuarial reduction or scheme pays loan reduction. And then usefully in the TRS, there's also a list of your pensionable earnings, and these should match the pensionable pay that you put into the first bit of the spreadsheet, and these should match exactly to the penny the values that are on your TRS statement. So we can use this for validation, but you can also see how this would affect your TRS in the future. So for example, if I change this to the 2019/20 year, the pensionable pay has increased there, and although the service has stayed at 14 years because my membership is closed in that section, I can see my pension has gone up in proportion to my pay. And then if I scroll down now, I can see my predicted pensionable pay in the years that haven't been released yet, and my pension and what that would look like. So this blue section, or the mock TRS section, is the section which you validate that the model is working correctly for you against. However, on the right hand side, we also have a mock-up of what your pension saving statement should look like as well. And these values will not be as accurate as the values on the left hand side, but they should give you a ballpark estimate for your pension input amount. But it's very important that for the purposes of paying tax, that you use your actual pension saving statements and use the HMRC calculator. and that's just reiterated here in this red disclaimer. And it's also important that you don't just rely on 3 years carry forward, 3 years PIAs. And that's because to get the most out of carry forward, you should always use 7 years. So if you only have a single pension saving statement, you should ring up NHS Pensions and either ask for preceding statements, but that may take up to 3 months, but they may give you your PIA values, these values here, the pension input amounts for your earlier years, so you can plug that into the calculator or give those values to your accountant. So if the values on the left-hand side match, that's great. It means the model is working for you, and the validation step has been completed, and you can now move on to the next step. However, if it's not working for you, I've created a separate video on troubleshooting and special circumstances such as added years and less than full time. Thank you.